What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Bible with the Daily Baba. This time, Baba to see. He looks at. Oh, we looked at the chapter 19 of Judges, a Levite and his concubine, and I believe that's when some nasty stuff happened. But today, we'll be looking at chapter 20 of Judges. The Israelites punished the Benjaminites. Then all Israel from Dan to Beersheba, from the land of Gilead, came together as one and assembled before the Lord in Mizpah. The leaders of all the people of the tribe of Israel took their places in the assembly of God's people, 400,000 men armed with swords. The Benjaminites heard that the Israelites had gone up to Mizpah. Then the Israelites said, "Tell us how this awful thing happened." So the Levite, the husband of the murdered woman, said, "I and my concubine came to Gibeah and Benjamin to spend the night. During the night, the men of Gibeah came after me and shrouded my house, intending to kill me. They raised my concubine and she died. I took my concubine, cut her into pieces, and sent one piece each region of Israel's inheritance because they commanded this lewd and outrageous act in Israel. Now, all you Israelites, speak up and tell me what you decided to do." All these men rose up together at once, saying, "None of us will go home. No, not one of us will return to this house. But now, this is what we'll do in Gibeah. We'll go up against it in order decided by casting lots. We'll take 10 men out of every 100 from the tribes of Israel, and 100 from 1,000, and 1,000 from 10,000 to get provisions of the army. Then, when the army is rising in Gibeah in Benjamin, you can give them what they deserve for this outrageous act on Israel." So, all the Israelites got together and united as one against the city. The tribes of Israel sent messages to the tribe of Benjamin, saying, "What was awful crime that was committed among you? Now turn those wicked men and give you over to us, that we may put them to death, purge evil from Israel." But the Benjamites would not listen to their fellow Israelites. From their towns they came together at Gibeah to fight against the Israelites. At once the Benjamites mobilized 26,000 swordmen from their own towns, in addition to 700 able young men from those living in Gibeah. Among all these soldiers there were 700 selected troops who were left-handed, each of whom could sling a stone out of a hair and not miss. Israel, apart from Benjamin, mustered 400,000 swordmen, all of them fit for battle. The Israelites went up to Bethel and inquired God. They said, "Who of us is to go up first to fight against the Benjaminites?" The Lord replied, "Judah shall go first." The next morning the Israelites got up and pitched a camp near Gibeah. The Israelites went out to fight the Benjamites and took up battles against them. The Benjamites came out of Gibeah and cut down 22,000 Israelites on the battlefield that day. But the Israelites encouraged one another again and took their positions. When they stationed themselves the first day, the Israelites went up and wept for the Lord in the evening and said in Christ the Lord. They said, "Shall we go up again to fight the Benjamites, our fellow Israelites?" The Lord answered, "Go up against them." Then the Israelites drew up near Benjamin the next day. This time when the Benjaminites came up to Gibeah to oppose them, they cut down another 18,000 Israelites, all of them armed with swords. Then all the Israelites, the whole army, went to Bethel. There they sat weeping before the Lord. They fasted that day until evening, presented burnt offerings and fellowship offerings to the Lord. All the Israelites inquired of the Lord. In those days the Ark of the Covenant was there, with the Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron, minister before him. They asked, "Wait, shall we go up to fight against Benjaminites, our fellow Israelites, or not?" The Lord responded, "Go for tomorrow, then I'll give them into your hands." Then Israel sent an ambush around Gibeah. They went up against the Benjaminites on the third day, took up positions against Gibeah as they had done before. The Benjaminites came out to meet them, and they were drawn away from the city. Then they began to inflict casualties on the Israelites before, so that about 30 men fell in the open field and on the road, the one leading Bethel and the other Gibeah. But the Benjamites were saying, "We are defeating them as before." The Israelites were saying, "Let's retreat and draw them away from the city to the roads." All the men of Israel moved from their place and took up positions at Baal Tamar. The Israelite ambush charged out its place in the west of Gibeah. Then 10,000 Israel's able young men made a front attack on Gibeah. The fighting was so heavy the Benjamites did not realize how near the disaster was. The Lord defeated Benjamin before Israel. One day Israel struck down 100,000 Benjamites, who armed with swords. Then Benjaminites saw they were beaten. The men of Israel had given way before Benjamin because they had relied on the ambush they set near Gibeah. Those who had been ambushed made a sudden dash into Gibeah, spread out and put the whole city to a sword. Israel had arranged with the ambush they could set up the great chaos small city, and the Israelites would counterattack. The Benjamites had begun to inflict casualties on Israel, about 30, and they said, "We were defeating them as in the first battle." When the column of the smoke began to rise in the city, the Benjamites turned and saw the whole city go into smoke. Then the Israelites counterattacked the Benjamites, terrified because they realized that the disaster would come on them. So they fled before Israel's selection of the wilderness. They could not escape the battle, and Israelites came out in towns and cut them there. So they surrounded the Benjamites, chased them easily, overran the villages of Gibeah's east. 18,000 Benjamites fell, all of them valiant fighters. As they turned and fled towards the wilderness, dark ruin, the Israelites cut down 5,000 men along the roads. They kept pressing up out of Benjamin as far as Gibeon, and struck down 22,000 more. On that day, 25,000 Benjamites fell and fell. All of them valiant fighters, but 600 of them turned and fled to the wilderness. So Rock Rimmon, where they stayed for 4 months. Men of Israel went back to Benjamin and put all the towns to the sword, including the animals and everything else they found. All the towns they came across, they set on fire. Well, guys, thank you for listening. I'm Mr. Pleasure Island. That is and this is the end. Bye bye.